those of you who don't know, because incense is one of the things that help to relax me. So I burn incense a lot. I sell incense as well. I sell incense and burners like these, that type of stuff. But I burn incense a lot because it helps to relax me. Hello guys, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Nicole Victory Hosang. I'm a mental health advocate along with other things. Hi guys. So I don't want the smoke to be interrupting my video too much. I'm here to share. Hello Facebook. I'm actually recording in two places now because I'm recording for YouTube and I'm also recording for Facebook Live, which I don't do often, but I decided to do it this way today. Yes, so I wanted to share a little message today. As always, I wanted to share a little message, and I want to be as open and honest as possible. I remember yesterday I shared a message on Facebook, and I was mentioning that the truth is that I thought I was healed from all my past traumas, but I actually wasn't, because I'm the type of person that I pay attention to self a lot. I pay attention to my emotions a lot. And, since lately, I've been realizing, I have realized that I'm not completely healed from all my past traumas. And the past couple of weeks have been rough. And I just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit. As I mentioned to you guys, I'm a mental health advocate, and I'm a designer as well. I design handbags. I have a business that manufactures handbags locally, and other things. I'm involved with music as well, and so forth and so forth and so forth. Eventually I'll share more about what I do, but this video is not so much for that. I'm not sure where to put my attention. I want to look over here where YouTube is, and Facebook is very dear to my heart, so forgive me guys if I'm looking back and forth or left and right. So I spoke about how I thought I was healed from my past traumas, but I wasn't. And a friend of mine on Facebook made a comment to say that I mustn't let Babylon know my weakness. He basically said, no, use it as a lesson. Whatever happened, use it as a lesson and move forward. And don't let Babylon know your weakness. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit because I noticed that as humans, and especially as black people, I have to talk about, I say especially as black people. I'm black, and I think I'll say especially as black people, even though this is for everyone. I think we have developed somewhat of an attitude where when people go through trauma and people are struggling mentally or psychologically or emotionally, we have a tendency to tell people to just move on, be strong and just move on. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit because I think that even though I can understand that a lot of people that give that advice, it's because most of the times they really don't know how else to respond. They really don't know what type of advice to give. And maybe even they themselves have gone through things in the past that they just move on from. They just move on. They never address the issue. They never talk about it. They never addressed it in any way. They just move on. And I think that's very dangerous because, like me, for example, I've been on the healing journey and the personal development journey for a very long time. And for me to be on that journey for so long and still have struggles today, when it comes to things that I've gone through in my past, that says a lot. So it shows you that the healing journey is, it's going, it keeps going, it doesn't just end. You don't just address it and for a month or a week or a day, and because you address it, it's over and you're healed and you're better. It doesn't work that way. Everybody's process is different. Everybody's traumas are different. Some people's trauma are physical, some are mental, some are emotional. So many different things happen to us as people. So people deal with things differently depending on who they are, how they think, their environment, the people around them, and so forth. So I like to observe myself a lot. I pay attention to my feelings a lot, and for the past couple of weeks have been rough. Facebook Live is showing that people are here, but I'm not seeing them. So good evening, Facebook. Yeah, right. So for the past couple of weeks, it have been so rough for me, so rough. And while it was rough, I'm going through the motion and I'm feeling the feelings that I'm having, and I'm observing the feelings that I'm having, and I'm analyzing them as well. And I came up with a few things and realized that, wow, my healing journey is not done. I still need healing. I still have areas in which I struggle. And even though I'm someone that a lot of people come to for comfort and mentorship and motivation and inspiration, I'm not perfect. I still have things that I struggle with. I still have things that I go through, and I have to use the skills and formulas that I've developed over the years to help me through them daily. And sometimes it's really, really rough for me, like really hard. Like sometimes just to get out of bed for me feels like I have to lift a 10-ton truck. It's that hard sometimes. So the fact that a lot of people come to me for counsel and motivation and advice and stuff, it doesn't mean that I don't have my struggles too. The good thing is that because I am a spiritual person and because I've been on the personal development journey for so long. I mean, I've been on the personal development journey long before social media ever even existed. So it's not like I was one of those people that because social media is around now, I listen to videos here and there for my healing. No, I actually had to read books. I actually read physical books. I actually had to put in the work, for a long time. And as I was mentioning before, some days are still very rough for me, especially when I start thinking I start thinking a certain way. And there's a lot of things. I have things that scare me. I have fears. I have things that I'm concerned about. I struggle with uncertainty. Uncertainty is one of the things that sometimes will trigger my anxiety. For those of you who do know, I've struggled with anxiety disorder for years and years and years. For years, right? And even though I hope you guys can hear me, if there's anybody here, can you please tell me if you can hear me? I just want to make sure that you actually can hear me. And if anybody would like to join me on camera to ask me a question, I'm open for that. So you can always call me on video and we can have a little chat, because I see where I can bring people on camera. Right. So, yes, for those of you who do know, I've struggled with anxiety disorder for a long time, a very, very long time. Hi, Earl. Welcome. Can you please tell me if you can hear me? Please. Thank you, Earl. Yes. So, I've struggled with anxiety disorder for a very long time. And a lot of people, especially Caribbean people, when they hear about anxiety disorder, a lot of times they don't really know exactly what it is. They think it's like a little anxiety, like when you get nervous, like you're going to go on a job interview and you're nervous, or you're going to perform on stage and you're nervous. Thank you very much, Earl. Thank you. Right, they think anxiety disorder is just about feeling nervous or a little anxiety. No, anxiety disorder is worse than that. I used to tell people that one of the best ways that I can describe anxiety disorder when you're having a panic attack, it's like I'm in deep ocean and I'm drowning, and I can't swim, I'm drowning, and nobody's helping me. That's what anxiety disorder feels like, right? But over the years, I have slowly but surely, step by step, I have found ways to deal with my anxiety issues and my panic attacks. They weren't easy and they're not completely over yet. Hello, Clement. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Right. So I found ways over the years to deal with my anxiety disorder. Over the years, but it's not done. I mean, it have gotten a little better, meaning I've found better ways to deal with my triggers, because I know what my triggers are. And triggers are things that will come up in your life or in your mind, your thought pattern, that trigger a panic attack. And for everybody, that panic is different. Mine was like, there are many times when I didn't know that I would live through it. Like, there are many times when I thought I was going to die because of an anxiety attack. It was that bad. And the worst part about it was nobody knew what I was going through. And even the few people who knew what I was going through, they didn't understand how to help me with it. And when you have certain triggers and you're having an anxiety attack, very rare anyone can really help you. You really have to be, it's a disorder that requires for you to be very mentally strong. Yes, because it's horrific. It's horrific. Right. So I struggled with anxiety disorder for years, and as I mentioned, I've found ways over the years to address it and deal with it. It's not completely over. So I've been observing myself the past couple of weeks. Remember, guys, if you see me looking back and forth, it's because I'm on YouTube over here and I'm on Facebook over here. So forgive me for that, okay? Right. So the past couple of weeks, I've been feeling real down in the dungeon. I'm already an overthinker. I am a thinker, trust me. And I'm just overthinking. I already am someone that don't sleep early at night, because when my creative juices start flowing, I get working at night a lot. So oftentimes I don't even go to bed before 3 o'clock in the morning. I've lived like that for years. So I've been observing myself lately, and I've been feeling really not so good. I've been feeling ways that scare me. And I know what the triggers are. I know the things that I'm worried about. I know the things that bothers me. I know the things that are triggering my anxiety and making me just feel really not so good. Some of you might say, boy, don't come tell people your business. But the reason why I like to share these things is because oftentimes, us social media sensations, if you want to call it that. I mean, I just see myself as a girl that like to come and share, because I'm always hoping that there's one person out there that listening to what I have to say can help them. So if you call me a sensation or an influencer, great. But yeah, I like to share because I know other people out there are struggling as well, and they're struggling in silence. Like I struggled in silence a lot. Like I even struggle in silence even right now a lot as well. However, bless up Clement, blessings. Right, but one of the good things with me is that I'm a writer. I've been a writer since I was like 12 years old. So I'm always writing my feelings, so that helps a lot. And with the camera is kind of like writing as well because it's me sharing a story. So I often will use stuff like that to release myself a little bit. But I wanted to just share with anyone out there that have gone through trauma, whatever the trauma is, because a trauma doesn't necessarily mean you personally had to go through something, as well as trauma means that you personally went through something. As I mentioned before, it can be mental, emotional, physical trauma. But you know those things. Let me turn on this fan a little bit. You know that thing that you went through. I hope the fan is not too loud. You know that thing that you went through, that up until this day it still hurts you, it still bothers you, it still causes you to behave in ways that you don't want to. It still drives you to be angry oftentimes when you think about it. You know, you're still insecure from it, you're still ashamed from it, you're still embarrassed because of it. Some people even become very suicidal. I myself have been suicidal before, or I've had suicidal thoughts, and I'm not afraid to share these things because throughout all my years of being on my healing journey and my personal development journey, one of the earliest things that I learned is to get rid of the ego. So I don't entertain the ego too much, even though as human beings, you know, ego is a part of human nature. But I don't entertain ego a lot because ego will sometimes cause you to suffer even more. Because what ego wants us to do is to come on camera and pretend like everything is always okay. And that is not the case, which is why I wanted to just share this today. How I've been feeling the past couple of weeks, how horrible I've been feeling, how uncertain I've been feeling about a lot of things, how I feel my anxiety attacks are slowly coming back. And for those of you who don't know, I've smoked cigarettes for 20 odd years. And then I stopped smoking. So I wasn't smoking the cigarette. I don't party. I don't drink really anymore. I bought myself a bottle of wine today because I want to know what it feels like to have a glass of wine again. But there were times like years ago, I would buy myself bottles of wine and just keep in the house and have a drink. And I was quite fine with it. But after going through my healing journey, you know, I meditate a lot and stuff like that, and it just became a time when I was just rejecting alcohol. I didn't like the taste of it anymore. I didn't like the way it made me feel, and so I don't drink. I stopped drinking for a long time. Once in a while, like once every year, I might have a drink, but I don't drink anymore. So I stopped smoking the cigarettes, and I had to be dealing with the emotions I was going through, the pain I was living with from my past trauma. Plus, I came off smoking cigarettes that I had been smoking for 20 odd years. So I had to be dealing with the withdrawal situation as well. And it has been very hard for me. The past couple of weeks have been very hard for me. Plus, I have other things that I struggle with. And for everybody, I struggle with myself sometimes. Everybody wanna, especially women, like to, and men too, we like to give the impression like, you know, we're okay, we're fine, I feel good about myself, I'm well put together, I'm well rounded. But that's not true. We aren't always so put together and so well rounded. Many of us have struggles that we don't share with anyone. We keep to ourselves, and we suffer and we struggle with them. And I wanted to just come on here to reach out to someone that need to hear this, to let them know, don't be silent about your struggle. You know, find ways to work through it. Find someone that you're comfortable with and talk it through. So I realize I've been feeling really down, just down. And as the days go by, I'm feeling more down and more down and more down and more uncertain and more. This is another thing that came up, insecure. I started feeling my insecurity coming up so much. And a lot of people don't like to admit when they're going through phases when they're feeling insecure. But I want to let you know that it's okay to admit that you're feeling insecure. Maybe what you're feeling is not going to last forever. And maybe with you feeling insecure, it can help you to work on the parts of yourself that you're struggling with or you want to work through. So I've been feeling so insecure because I'm like thinking, is the best part of my life behind me? So many uncertainties, the things that I see going on in the world, my personal struggles, so many things. And I've been just really down. I haven't been cooking as much as I would want to. I don't want to do anything. The only thing I really want to do, more than anything else is go to the water, because as some of you guys know, I go to the beach a lot and I go to the river a lot because the water is a major part of my healing. So I've been feeling really terrible. And I want to tell you guys, don't let us not just develop this attitude and tell people or even tell ourselves to say, oh, just be strong and move on. No, it's not just about being strong and moving on. It's very important for us to address the issues that we have. It's very important for us to stop for a while and pay attention to what we're feeling and address it and see what it is that we can change in our life, what it is that we can adjust in our life, what is it that we need to change in our life to help us through this pain, this thing that we're struggling with so badly. I mean, I'm someone that is very open about my life and my feelings and my situations. I don't have that false pride type of thing because I know that as human beings we all struggle. So I'm never ever afraid to share or be honest about what I'm feeling or what I've gone through. But I have this one thing of all the things, all the traumas that I've gone through. I have this one thing that I don't share. And so it's me alone that have to deal with this thing. And that makes it even harder as someone that have gone through anxiety disorder. Maybe one day I might share it and maybe I might not. But I have to say that, and it's not just that one thing that is causing me to struggle right now. It's multiple things why I'm struggling right now, why I cry sometimes. There were times when I remember, like maybe 2 months ago, oh my god, I had like one of the biggest crying breakdowns I've ever had. I cried and cried and cried. I bawled for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and nobody could help me because nobody understands. Everybody's just telling you to just, like, people are always telling me, you're strong, you're strong, you're strong, you're strong, and sometimes I don't want to hear that I'm strong, because even though deep down inside, when I look back on at my life, I might admit that I am strong, but the best thing for me to hear is not that I'm strong, because at that time, or sometimes, I don't feel so strong. Sometimes what I would have wanted is for someone to just tap me on the shoulder and say, I understand, and it's going to be okay, and I'm going to be there for you, and I'm going to stand by you. That's all I've wanted for years. And I didn't want to hear that I'm strong. I mean, I was tired of being strong. Sometimes I'm tired of being strong because I had to be strong for so long and I had to be strong for so many people. So sometimes my heart gets tired of being strong. Sometimes my nerves get tired of being strong. I mean, I've come close to a nervous breakdown before. I must really be strong for real, because I've come close to a nervous breakdown more than once, and it's the deep inner beliefs that I have about myself and about a higher power that must have kept me surviving. I don't know which other way to put it. And every time I would come to the edge, close to a nervous breakdown, I would find my way back through prayer, through meditation, after months and months of crying. And I would find my way back. But sometimes, as time goes by, it's kind of like every time you get close to the edge and you're not able to just rest and take a break, you have to get back on the wheel. You have to get going again, because you know how life is. The bills have to be paid. We have to keep going. So we don't really have the privilege to stop for a long period of time, or whatever time is required for us to heal. Because the way the world is, the way the system is, it doesn't allow us to have the privilege to have all the time we need to just heal. So we always have to get back on that life treadmill to pay the bills, take care of the kids, be a mother, be a wife, live. So I could never get the privilege that I really wanted, which is that I wish I could just even take a year off or 6 months off from everything to heal myself. And even if I was able to take a day off or to heal myself, or a couple of days off to heal myself, my mind wouldn't allow me to relax enough, because I'm always worried about somebody. I'm always worried about somebody that I care about. I'm always doing what I have to do to keep things together. I'm the one that has to keep things together. So I didn't have that privilege. Right, and I had a lot of people in my life that didn't understand me. I had people in my life that would misjudge me, meaning they would accuse me of things that are not true, or because I keep going every day, everybody think I'm okay. So I looked okay on the outside. I have to get up, I have to work, I have to go to the gas station, I have to take care of kids, I have to take care of the home, I have to live, I have to pay my bills, I have to keep going. So people thought I was okay, I'm always under my shades. So when I go to the public, my eyes are always covered, because I don't always want people to see the pain I'm going through. Because with anxiety disorder, one of the things that it does, it makes you feel like the world can see what you're going through if they look into your eyes, or if you're in their presence. Like, so many things come with it. I'll do another video soon just to talk about anxiety disorder and those things. But I just wanted to come on here to share with someone, to say, listen, I struggle. I struggle with not just the things that I worry about, not just things that are happening, not just finances, not just those things. I struggle even with myself, because I'm a multifaceted person. I'm multifaceted. And sometimes I wonder which of the selves I should make be the dominant self. A lot of people maybe go through these things or think about these things, but they won't admit it, or they don't know how to express it. But I struggle. But one of the things that have really kept me getting up, no matter how long I'm down, like right now I'm talking to you guys, I can feel a knot in my stomach, like an anxiety would want to come on. But as I tell you, over the years, I learned to deal with these things a little better. Um, Years of just going. I became a mother at a young age. Um, and I had to I had to be a single mother for a long time, and that was hard. That wasn't easy. Um, I went down roads I shouldn't have gone down. You know, at one point when I was young, I didn't even know what was happening to me. I was young and beautiful, and I started partying a lot, and I smoked cigarettes, and you party and you date and you drink, and I didn't even know what was happening to me. I didn't know that when I became a mother, I actually was in shock. Like my whole being went in shock, and I was so unaware of the world and didn't know how to deal with that. But because I had a really loving heart, I naturally loved my child and took care of my child. But it all started from there, and like I went on autopilot from that time. And it's like my heart never got any rest. Sometimes I'm so worried about my heart. You know, I worry about my heart because sometimes my heart feels so full and so tired and so overwhelmed. Yeah. Sorry. Right. No crying, no crying, no crying. Right. So, sometimes my heart was so full, and there wasn't. I didn't have anyone to take care of me. I was the one that had to be taking care of others. So it's like my life went on autopilot from that time, and my nerves was just going. And with the nature person that I am, with the temperament that I am, that I naturally was, I mean, the world have toughened me up a bit, and some of my experiences have toughened me up a bit. And sometimes I'm afraid of being too tough as well, because as I often share that I didn't smile for years. For years I didn't smile. Like everywhere I went, people would say, "Smile." I never smiled for years because of what I was going through, because of experiences that I had. And every time I reached a phase where I feel like, okay, I'm working through this, I'm feeling better, things are much better, there comes something again to knock me down again and to knock my nerves again, and something I have to go work on again. And even when long time passes and you say, oh, well, I've been on this journey for so long and I've done so much work. I've done the work. I've put in the work to heal myself. Believe me, I've put in so much work. And when you look at how much work you put in, and then years pass and another thing comes and another thing comes, and things come that are worse than the first thing that you thought was so horrible. My heart didn't get time to rest, and even my physical body changed. My physical body changed because you guys know that when you're dealing with depression and anxiety and post-traumatic stress disorder, it changes your whole chemistry. So I went through that and I struggled for years. I want to share something with you guys that I've never shared really, especially publicly. One of the things that I even started to do was, if I was in a situation where I was being loved too much, or if I was starting to feel some form of happiness, I would start preparing to leave. I would start packing my bags to leave out of that happy place, to leave that place where I'm getting too much love. Because of my past traumas, I was scared to be happy. Because I felt like if I get too happy, if I get too comfortable, if I am loved too much, then the hurt is going to come soon. The trauma is going to come soon. So I would prepare for it. So if there was someone that was even giving me too much love, I would run away from the person. And so I had to, go into myself to find out, why is this so? And trust me, I wish it wasn't so. I wish I wouldn't run from love and people who try to love me or show me that they care about me. I never trusted anyone caring about me because for so long I struggled silently and by myself for so long. And I've had experiences where the people who were supposed to love me, hurt me in some ways. And people that I help, that you would expect that, oh, you help this person so much, they would end up causing me trauma. And it's a lot of stuff that I had to go through, that a lot of stuff that I experienced that traumatized me. And I just smoked cigarette for years. You see how easily I can just fix my fingers as if I actually have a cigarette in my hand, because that's what I did. I smoked cigarettes, and I think I smoked and I smoked and I smoked cigarettes. And I remember the first time I really felt hurt in my life, I ran for a cigarette. And from that day, I smoked for 20 odd years. I never ever had a picture without a pack of cigarette in my hand. And that was my coping mechanism. Till just recently, a couple of months ago, I stopped smoking. And pray that I don't become a nicotine addict again. Because even having to deal with the addiction on top of everything else that I was going through, made it even harder. Because for those of you who might know, when I would have an anxiety attack, I would have a cigarette, and I would feel like it helped for that teeny moment. But the truth is that even the cigarette triggers anxiety as well, so it made things worse. So I was in shambles, but I still had to come out every day like everything was okay. And I know a lot of you out there, have gone through this. You function every day and people see you well dressed every day. I need to get my incense out of the way. Right, you dress and come out every day and everybody think you're okay, and you do so well at putting out this image or this persona like you're fine, and you're not. And so I just wanted to come on here to say, if you're not on your healing journey yet from your past traumas, or even something that you might be experiencing right now, please get on your healing journey. Do whatever you have to do to get on the road to start to heal yourself. It's not going to happen overnight or within a week, but start your healing journey. Don't go on every day pretending and giving the impression like you're fine when you feel like you're dying inside, because it can actually kill you. It actually might be killing you. So that thing that you have gone through, that have traumatized you, that you struggle with up until this day, that taunts your mind, that racks your nerves, that puts so much burden on your heart, get on the healing journey to address it. My son recently said to me, "Mommy, Because sometimes I like to talk to my son because he's smart. Not to say that he's the only one that's smart, but he kind of have a lot in common with me. So I was talking to him recently, and he said to me, he said, "Mommy, you're the one that always tell us how to cope with painful situations." And he started to remind me of advice that I would give, and even things that I would write, because I'm a writer. And he said, "Mommy, it seems as if right now you're not applying what you teach. You're not applying the advice that you give others. It doesn't mean that when I give people advice, it's not credible or it doesn't work. They work. But sometimes you will be able to give people advice of how to help themselves through hurtful situations, but you still struggle with working through one or some or a few of your specific situations. When I was a little girl, right, I was a very quiet nature girl. I still am quiet natured. It's just that I'm not as quiet as before when I was younger, because the world did a number on me. The world did a number on me, and what happened to me is that it forced me to become very tough at one point. Almost numb. Not almost numb, numb. I became numb at one point. And that wasn't good. So I had to toughen up. I had to numb myself. And I had to get tough, because I realized that because I was such loving nature, compassionate, sincere, just really good-hearted person, people would just damage me. And I had to stand up and say, no, no more of this. Oh, no, not hurt me no more. So I started detaching myself from people one by one. I just detached, to the point where even the people that I really wanted to make me feel like they loved me, I didn't want their love anymore. I didn't even know how to receive their love anymore. I'm still kind of there right now, where there are some people that it's like if they're trying to love on me, I'm like, please dress back, please. It's like an alarm that says step back. But I'm going to wrap up now, and I want to say to anyone out there that is struggling emotionally, mentally, spiritually, from a past trauma, past hurts, even hurts that you might be going through right now, please get on the journey to start healing yourself. And don't make it a fake journey. Don't make it a fake healing where you just run on social media and say, oh, I'm healed. No, make it real, because the process is a process. It's not an overnight thing. And I just want to say, I'm going to wrap up now, and I want to say, please keep going. If it's hard for you to take things one day at a time, take it 1 minute at a time. And talk to someone. Try to find someone that you can trust to talk to. If you believe in prayer and you believe in God, you can pray. But it needs more than prayer. It takes work to fix the damages. I mean, prayer is good, don't get me wrong, but it's gonna take some physical action for you to get to do on that healing road, to go through those processes. You're gonna maybe have to take yourself back in times that are very painful. You're maybe gonna have to take yourself back to that specific situation that you went through that hurt you, and feel that feeling all over again, to work through it. Because oftentimes what happens is that we jump over these feelings, but we need to work through them. So I just want to say, you don't have to give the world the idea every day like you're okay or you're perfect. You don't have to smile if you don't want to. You don't. If you don't feel like smiling today, you don't have to. But I would say be true to your emotions that you're feeling at that time. When I say be true to them, I mean admit them for what they are. Don't pretend as if they are what they're not, because that will cause you to be in denial. And please stop telling your loved ones and stop telling others to just be strong and move on. Yes, it's good to let them know that you have what it takes to be strong and to overcome this, but ask them questions. What is it that you need? How can we help? How does it make you feel what you're going through? And let them know that you will support them. And you yourself might be going through your own thing. Please do the same thing for yourself. So I wanted to share that message. Thank you guys for being with me. I love you all. I appreciate you all. God bless you all. Have a nice day. One love. Namaste.